This is part 3 of basic classical mechanics lecture series. So what we have done till now. So we learned that if we have a force, say we are dealing with a translational force, then the equation of force is force creates acceleration, that is force is equals to ma. Then we get a differential equation from this force, and this differential equation gives us an equation of motion. We have dealt with this thing a lot of times in our previous lectures. Now we'll read about modification of the force equation. For example, so you have a force equation F is equals to mass into acceleration. Okay, so force is equals to mass into acceleration. Now consider you want to add or subtract some term. Okay, so if you add or subtract some term, it means that you have changed the force equation. Okay, let me give you a very simple change of the force equation, very simple change. So if this change that is represented by the box, if this change is equals to m into a1, then what does this change mean? Let us see. So my force under this change will become mass into acceleration plus, say I do a plus change, m a1. Okay, now if you take the mass common, then you find that the change that we have done is responsible for an increment in the acceleration. Is responsible for what? Is responsible for the increment in acceleration. If the change is minus m a1, then this kind of change is responsible for a decrease in the overall acceleration. So because it will become a minus a1. So this represents a decrease in overall acceleration. However, if this change is some weird term, say minus k, k is some constant and v is the velocity. And what is v? See, F is the force acted on an object. M is the mass of the object. A is the acceleration of the object. Similarly, v is the velocity of the object. Agreed? So if I add this, then my force equation looks very weird. So F is equals to, it becomes ma minus kv. Okay. Now when I consider a ball falling under gravity, then a becomes what? Then acceleration becomes g. So this will become F equals to mg minus kv. So although we have made the required modification to the force equation, but what is the physical interpretation of this type of modification? Okay, so now we'll look at the physical interpretation. So when you have force equals to mg, it means the ball is falling under gravity freely. It means what? The ball is falling under the gravity freely. Okay, so this equation actually represents what? This equation actually represents a free fall. So what does it represents? It represents a free fall. Now what I do is, instead of the ball falling under free gravity, okay, I'll make the ball fall under, say, water. So consider the ball, and the ball is falling under the presence of, so there is water everywhere. Okay, so in first case there was no friction or no resistance to the ball, and second case there is a huge resistance to the ball, and that resistance comes from the water. Now what type of force? Now you see, if v is the instantaneous velocity of this ball, then at any moment the ball experiences an upward drag force, which is equals to some constant k into v. So what is kv? Kv is the upward drag force or the resistance force. So I can say that if the ball falls inside water and under gravity, then there is a drag force that tries to make the ball fall slowly, or it makes the falling of the ball very slow, and that drag force is equals to k, some constant, into velocity at any instant. Now what does this drag force do? So have you what usually happens when you make a ball fall in water? You see that the velocity of the ball with which it flows down goes on decreasing. Have you marked that? Velocity of the ball goes on decreasing. So if I say velocity goes on decreasing, then it indicates that acceleration is decreasing. So under free fall, the acceleration, so under free fall, the acceleration was what? G, and it was constant. So if I draw a graph, say I draw a graph between this side I have time, okay, and say this side I have my acceleration. Now, what happens under free fall? So under free fall, the object falls under gravity. Okay, so the diagram will be that this will be my G. Here I can write my G. It means under free fall, the blue line represents the free fall. So under free fall, the acceleration is constant, and that value of the acceleration is G. But when you make the ball fall inside the water, you see with time the acceleration goes on decreasing. And since the acceleration goes on decreasing, it means the velocity of the ball goes on decreasing. As a result of which, after a particular time, the ball either falls with a constant velocity. So the ball falls with a constant velocity where the net acceleration, so net acceleration is equals to 0 after some time. Agreed? So what is the work of drag force? The work of drag force is to lower the acceleration. And how does the drag force work? So drag force is maximum when the velocity is maximum, and drag force is minimum when the velocity is minimum. So when you drop the ball at the top, about at these points, the velocity of the ball is maximum, hence drag force is maximum. Now because of drag force, the velocity goes on decreasing, and when the ball, say it reaches here, then the velocity is very less. So when the velocity is very less, the upward drag force is also very less. Remember, drag force always acts upward. So at this point where I'm giving the tick, at this point the drag force is very less because the velocity here is less. Okay, because the velocity here is less. And here the drag force is more because velocity at the starting point was actually more. Agreed? Now, so since we know that the drag force is equals to kv, and kv acts in a direction, so you see the acceleration g is making the ball move downward, and the drag force kv is trying to stop the ball. And since both are in the opposite direction, that's why we have this minus sign. This minus sign indicates that kv is not helping the fall. kv is not helping the fall. And if there is a plus sign, if there were a plus sign, it means something has increased the acceleration. Okay, so in which cases there will be plus sign? Look at this example number, so I'm writing 2 here. Okay, in case 2, there is an increment in acceleration. This type of increment occurs when there is an extra force. So what does ma1 represent? ma1 is also a force f dash. So if a ball is there and initially what was the force on the ball? So initially the force on the ball was F. And increment means now another force F dash acts on the ball. So both F and F dash, since they act in the same direction, both of them contribute to the acceleration. By contribution to the acceleration, I mean there is an increment in the acceleration because the forces are working in the same direction. Here, the forces are working in the different direction, hence they don't contribute. Agreed? So what do we get? So our equation of motion is this. So now I have made you understand what is the physical meaning of this particular equation that is in the red box. So there is a force, so there is a ball falling down, that's why there is an mg, but the ball is not falling freely. Somebody is putting a drag force to stop the ball, and hence that drag force is represented by minus kv term. So when you add or subtract a term in the force equation, one thing is sure, that some force is acting. So one thing be rest assured, that any term you add or subtract in the force equation is nothing but a force, because you see this F has the dimension of force, mg has the dimension of force, of course kv must have the dimension of force. Agreed? So whenever you are adding or subtracting a term in the force equation, they are all different kind of forces, and kv is here called as the drag force that you usually experience when you drop a ball in a viscous liquid. Agreed? Now, so our first part is clear. We have made a modification in the force equation because our system was changed. Initially we had no resistance in our system, that's why force was equals to ma, but now we have resistance in our system, so we made a little bit modification in our force equation. So what is the next step? This modified force must have a corresponding differential equation. So in the next lecture we'll look at what is the corresponding differential equation of this modified force, and then we will look at the equation of motion for this differential equation. That will do in next lecture.